things I've been struggling with in terms of trying to find different modalities of learning. For my son, he's very, one of his passions is film, and I'm looking into signing him up for this film course. It's being taught over the summer, but it's for teenagers, and he's 10, and the instructors mentioned that by that age, the teenage years, the content of the film is much more mature.
Yeah.
So while the technical, the technicalities being taught, he might very well be able to keep up with. You got to keep in mind what he's going to be exposed to. Oh, so then how do I?
Oh yeah.
You know what resources are out there for me to have him have these learning experiences that he's ready for, with the technical piece.
We experienced similar with Abby in terms of reading. She's a voracious reader. She at one point in 3rd grade, I think, had 19 books going.
Wow.
And I
sounds like Gabrielle. She's always has a book everywhere.
My son does that too, and it drives me crazy.
It does me
I
too.
I read a book, I finish it, and then I start a new book.
That's exactly me. So I had a summer challenge. I'm like, your challenge this summer is to read all 19 books. And she did, because it was a challenge. But she was when she was retested in 5th grade, she was reading at a 25 plus, like she topped out at where her reading level was, but those books aren't appropriate for an 11-year-old. So
so what did you do?
So we did a lot of pre-reading. We did a lot of reading with
would
her.
You like redact sections, or
No,
what do you do?
There were some things we didn't do, and then there were just some things she had to learn. So for example, history was a passion. She loves to read and write historical fiction. And my husband, until very, very recently, they still read out loud together every night. And so they were sharing content and talking about it.
Okay.
And then that felt better than just leaving it to her on her own to navigate. So we try and be as integral in those processes as we can. But she often tells me that worse things happen in the lunchroom at the middle school, so I should just, the books are okay. She can, So I'm like, okay, that's
That's good. So, along this line of these children have so much capacity intellectually, but emotionally, the development doesn't necessarily accelerate at this, And so have you found that to be tough, Jaclyn?
Yeah. That is one of those navigating roads that she is too a voracious reader, and so she's reading so many things, kind of all typically in the same genre, but we try to expand that a little. But that's one of those hard ones. So we do a lot of talking about the feelings and things that happen at school, and trying to just be a part of her life too. My husband and her have a great relationship that she tends to share a little bit more with her dad than she does with me, but to have that relationship so that those communication lines are open, and that when she's feeling frustrated, and that the first year we were here, it wasn't that she was vocally telling us, except that we could tell in the worksheets that they were not getting completed. And then it actually started going into her social, that she was having all these kind of little dramas, and I was like, this isn't, I didn't know if this was a normal thing, being my first, I'm like, is this part of just going into 2nd grade? Is this normal? But she was so bored in class and so sick of worksheets that it was kind of going into her social. And so once we kind of took care of the schoolwork part, where it was more challenging, let's do this at home and let's work on these things at home, the social tended to get a little better. So I do think even though sometimes we feel like they're not necessarily correlated, the learning for these kids, they definitely are. If they're being challenged, and then they don't seem to have so much trauma, I guess. I don't know.
Right. Exactly.